move on to our presentations, and this is great for me because I completely messed up my golden shovel exercise, and I did the dump truck of information as soon as the question was asked. So this is good because now I get to talk a little bit. I'm just going to talk for 5 minutes. I want to talk about the special issue at GOM for servant leadership and the future of servant leadership, which is what's coming up next with our 5 presentations. Jim's going to dig more deeply into this later. I'm just going to kind of touch on the surface. Excuse me. And I found out yesterday I was doing this intro, so I actually made notes. So you'll excuse me for looking at my notes to make sure I don't miss anything. We had talked a lot yesterday about the history of servant leadership. I think both Kent and Larry talked about the history of practitioner and how it ended up moving into academia. Dirk talked a lot about the history in academia as the scholarship has progressed. Servant leadership is no longer a really new scholarship field. We're maturing, right? We're making that transition. And there's a danger in that, right? And the danger in that is we stop moving the field forward. We stop digging deeper. And that would have a couple of real dangers to it. And one danger that I wrote down is servant leadership would kind of like slowly become academically unimportant. It wouldn't be a vibrant, thriving field. Right now, this is a vibrant, thriving area of research, and we don't want to lose that. Because that leads to the second problem, which I think we would have if we don't continue to move this in a good direction, and that is that, I kind of wrote down the wording here I like, we're not going to serve the practitioners and people in the way that we are supposed to as researchers, right? Especially being in the leadership field, I think we understand that we don't do research only because it's fun and we get to sit in a room and come up with some esoteric piece of knowledge. Our point is to really serve the rest of the world, and that's why we're here. So yesterday, Ian and Jim both talked about like this AOM conference we were at a few years ago and the dinner afterwards at the Cheesecake Factory, which has half ruined everybody's year but this is exciting, like ruined it in the best way. And we talked about these issues at that dinner. Where is this going to go? How are we going to do this? We came up with the idea of this special issue, group and organizational management, is where its home is, and we're doing 2 things with this special issue. I want you to keep that in mind as we walk through the presentations. So the first thing is we're moving the field forward in a knowledge way, right? And so these papers are not, as we say in academia, one more moderated mediation variant, right? We're not adding a little bit. We really want to think about where we're going, what the challenges are, what the problems are with the research we're doing, right? How to move this forward. Because we want the field to grow and be healthier. The other thing we want to do with this special issue is we want to help bring up a new generation of young scholars into the field, right? So putting those 2 together, right? So this special issue has a number. We have 5 research papers in the special issue. We also have Bob Leiden and Van Nippenberg are doing a kind of critical analysis of the field. Ian is writing a practitioner's viewpoint on servant leadership. The 4 editors of the special issue are going to write a where do we think this is going paper. But the nut of this special issue is what you're going to hear in just a moment. And it's a big ask because publishing quick is the currency of the realm in research. And what we're doing is we're asking junior scholars to go out on a limb, push themselves, do harder than normal things, which take a little time. And so we have to support them in that. And we're supporting them in that in 2 ways. One is every one of these research teams that had made it to the point of having their pitch accepted into the special issue, we paired the junior scholars with a senior scholar in the field. And we are very grateful to those senior scholars. So as a mentor, right, not to take over the project, but as a stand in the back, as a servant leader in the project, being a mentor and helping the project along. The second thing that we're doing to really support those research efforts is what's happening right now. So you're going to hear 5 research presentations. These are not published papers yet. These are the works that we're hoping will be published in the special issue, and that's going to happen this spring. So pull out your notebooks, make some notes, either about maybe gaps or how we can help these researchers at this point, or what's the next step beyond this piece of research. After these 5 presentations, each one of these papers is going to be at one of these tables. We're going to break into round tables. That's the opportunity for all of you to provide feedback and to help support the authors of these papers. So that's what's going to happen now. So as the presentations happen, take notes, and then provide that support and feedback to the authors. So that's what this next session is about. With no further ado, I'm going to let our authors take over this. I'm going to step up out of the way. They'll hand off the mic as each one of the 5 of them move through.